So they're kind of talking a little bit on the stage, but a bit of an interesting matchup here. Obviously, Crum hasn't been around in the UFC for long. He's been doing MMA for a while now, but when they wanted to make this fight, did it appeal to you because of the Gracie name? For some people, that's kind of a hook on its own.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is I have so much respect for the Gracies and what they did for the sport. And when I got into jiu-jitsu, I was in a place in my life where I was looking for something, and I didn't know jiu-jitsu even existed. I stumbled into this school, and I was like, man, I have to do this. And it totally it changed my life. And so I was a huge fan of the Gracie in action videos and the history of it, and I was completely engulfed in it. There's tons of respect there. I don't think the UFC knew that I had a little bit of history with Crone a long time ago, so I kind of mentioned it to them, and I think that excited them even more. And so, yeah, I'm excited for this fight.
When we talked to him, we brought up the story that you kind of said about not being able to train at Gracie gyms and whatnot, and he said he wanted to know the specific places that you weren't let in. Would you be willing to kind of name what spots?
I don't, because there's still places I plan on training at, and I know the instructors that had to give me the message. I could tell it didn't come from them. I knew it came from above them. If he wants to have the conversation after the fight, we could have that conversation. But yeah, the whole thing just reminds me of when I was younger. Like I said, it bums me out because you look at somebody and everybody wants somebody to achieve something. I mean, this is a kid that was the son of a legend, and they want him to be great as well. It makes for a good story. But what about the people that you might have to push out of the way on the way to that great story? What about their story? Is my story not as important? And that's how I felt as a kid. And when I booked this fight, those memories came back. And so, like I said, it's like, okay, I'm not crying about anything. I'm just like, okay, let's run it back. But this time it's a little bit more on my terms. There's no favors,
So what would you ultimately end up doing for grappling preparation?
For this, I had plenty of help. I just wasn't able to go to a couple schools, that's all. I was at 10th Planet a lot. They always let me just walk in and get some good rolls in because they're a different style. But ultimately, I went back home to my original school, and I had help from a guy that I actually convinced to start doing jiu-jitsu. His name is Hurricane down in Palm Springs. And I helped him cover some classes, and he came out to Orange County, and I was with him in Indio when I was training my boxing, and he helped me out for the last couple of months. And the kid is extremely talented. A lot of people know who he is just because, like me, he came from Palm Springs. He did a couple tournaments, but he's not from a huge school. But people would be amazed at how good he is.
When you're fighting a specialist like this, where's the balance of not being so consumed and worrying about him trying to get you down and submit you, being able to get your game and worry about the other things, and just balancing all that out?
I mean, it's one of those things that you won't know until the fight's over, because when I fought Charles Oliveira, I just made a mental decision I'm not even going to train jiu-jitsu because I plan on not being there. And the real reason was because I pulled my groin really bad, and I couldn't have anyone in my guard, and I couldn't run. So I was like, I'm just going to knock him out. And I just had that mentality, and it worked out. But I don't know if that's the smartest way to approach a fight like this. So I feel like I balanced it pretty well.
We asked Ron earlier. It's been, I think we said 9 months since the last fight. What took so long? Apparently, he's kind of holding out to get maybe more of a name. Mm-hmm. So that's what he considers you, a name. And it seems like maybe he's trying to fight you to make a name off of himself. For himself. So how do you feel about that?
Well, that's how the game works. I'm the veteran. I'm the older fighter. If I'm not in title contention, then I'm possibly somebody's stepping stone. That's how the game works. And I have to go in there and show them otherwise. And I understand that, and that's all good, because at the end of the day, if I want to keep my job, I gotta earn it. So bring them on. And the fact that it's a Gracie, it's cool. It's cool to I was getting asked by the Asian media about my fights with Kawajiri, and to me that was an honor to fight in somebody like that. And so it's the big names and the big ones that you remember. So I think I'll remember this fight.
Do you enjoy being in that position? Because it seems you're okay with it, like fighting these young guys.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. I constantly keep young fighters around me. I used to let them stay at my house. I do sometimes, but now I got a family. So that it's not quite the same, but I keep like 20 to 25-year-olds around me all the time that are stud wrestlers, good strikers, and I teach them what I do, and basically they're nipping at my heels. And I've been doing that for the last, since I've been considered a veteran. And that keeps me hungry, it keeps me sharp, it keeps me in the loop of what's new, and it lets me know if I'm slacking it or slipping.
And not so long ago, I spoke to Sergio Pettis, and he was in a bit of a skid, and he was telling me how it was a really dark time for him, and he was questioning why he was in the sport and all these other things. Obviously, you're a lot more deeper into the game than he is, but yeah. I wonder if where your mental state is heading into this fight.
I mean, that happens. It's inevitable. I think that's the one thing people fail to see sometimes with the keyboard warriors is like, this is my real life. When I lose, I don't take it lightly. It hurts. It hurts my whole family. Everyone is kind of treading lightly around you, so it can put you into depression. But I think the fact that I have my kids now, it's kind of changed things, and I'm able to leave that in the gym and at least be happy at home. And for some odd reason, I feel at peace with where I'm at right now. I think the last two fights had more pressure as far as winning and losing. This one, I just want to go out there and perform. I know I'm capable of beating the crap out of him. I know he's dangerous, but I'm just excited for the opportunity. And I am an older fighter. I never know when my last fight is going to be, so I'm just trying to enjoy it and put on the best performances I can.
Final question. You just said you don't know when your last fight's going to be, but I've been itching to ask. Like, you've been doing it so long, and at the highest level, like, how much steam's left? How much do you really have left? And I mean that respectfully, but how much do you think you really have left after doing it for so long?
I don't want to fight when I'm 40. I'm 35 now. Yeah, so I've been doing it a little while. I think I got some more fights in me. I'm gonna take it fight by fight, but I'm still enjoying it, and I'm still at the top in the gym. Like I said, all these youngsters I keep around me, these up and comers, they aren't beating me up. They're not getting the better of me. And in sprints, in lifts, in jiu-jitsu, and striking. So I think when I really see a decline is when I'll have to admit to myself, or if the passion goes away. But right now, neither of those is gone.
Do you see a realistic path for yourself back to like title contention? I mean, fighting the younger guys, I would assume, kind of keeps you in line for something like that, rather than giving in to doing the legacy fights.
I mean, you look at Michael Bisping, somebody that I'm friends with that just came out of nowhere and got a title fight and became champion. I know that possibility is always there, but at this point, I want to take it one fight at a time. I'm not really looking at a belt. That's been dangled in my face and pulled away a couple times, and I'm just kind of, it's not something I'm going to plead for anymore. If it doesn't happen, whatever. But if the opportunity ever came, I would jump at it. But I'm perfectly fine just fighting big fights and having fun with it.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.